There's a range of emotions that we all felt across Australia today, and indeed the world, wherever you are watching this, wherever you watch the game today. I woke up this morning and I saw cricket was on. Is there cricket on today? Who we got? West Indies. Did we play them? Did we play them last summer and fucking pump them? I don't recognise any of these names. Cummins wins a toss, has a bowl. You beauty. I'm playing golf this weekend, a 3-day test match. That's what I'm here for. And then for about 2 hours, I just made bush horse noises. Because Josh Hazel was just doing his absolute best. Then Cummins was almost going to get another fifer, and that was going to tickle me. Then, of course, Hazelwood gets his 250 Test match wicket. Then the 10th wicket partnership put on like 50 something, and I was like, "What the fuck is this shit?" And then I was watching the West Indies innings as a whole, and I was like, "This is absolute dog shit." But then I learned some of the stories about some of these new West Indian players. I was like, that's nice. That's actually an interesting backstory. Yeah, he's come from hardship. I like that. He can get out now. And then Australia had their turn to bat, and I thought, oh yeah, this wicket's actually it's a little bit tacky. Yeah, it is actually quite tricky to get out. And then I thought, where the fuck's Bancroft? Why didn't they pick Bancroft? And then I watched Cam Green bat, and I was just like, mate, can you stop being a little bitch and just fucking start alphaing international cricket? And so that's the general emotions. It was a roller coaster today for me, Pezza. And if you are tuning into this and you've not seen anything of the game, what happened is the West Indies batted them all out for 188. And Australia are 129 runs behind at the end of day one, 2 for 59. Is that right? Whatever it means. Yeah, 2 for 59. So that's what's happened in the day's play, Pezza. How was the test match in Adelaide for you?
Yeah, dog. Good summary. I like it. Medication required, obviously, but separate issues. And also related issues. But yeah, that's obviously that's a constant. Mate, I have to concede, and I will invite the AFP into my life by saying so. As the days led up to the test match, I was looking forward to the test match because it's a test match. No, you know what I'm saying? I'm like yesterday, I'm looking forward to tomorrow because I am a sucker for the fucking trapping of the whole thing. It doesn't matter to me, like in the lead up. I'm just, it's a test match fixture with the Australian team, like at grounds and, and it's the full experience. Now, don't get me wrong, stupidest game in existence. Like we sat there today in the studio looking at the coverage going, what is this dumb shit? An NRMA roller. Like you look at a sport like soccer. You just turn it on, everyone's baying for blood for 90 minutes, plus, stoppage, and halftime and stuff like that. Just a ball and some goals. Now I'm looking at an NRMA roller POV down the deck. I've got a wide angle shot of the ground behind no doubt a cricket scorer's ear. I'm like, what is this? I'm upset. Australia's not taking a wicket. West Indies, none for 14. And it was 2 for 14. And so I guess like I experienced the day with concern, like at the end of the West Indies innings, most of the punditry was praising them for getting this far to 180. Like after being sent in, but also saying that they would have batted. So where are we at? And that's a last wicket partnership of 55. So what is this? What are we looking at? Like, does the quality of play and some of the shots we saw from blokes trying their absolute best, playing more test matches than any of us ever will, right? Like, does it insult all of us? Like, was today the first example, before we got to the final session, by the way, which was very redeeming in a lot of ways, but like, was this the first example of where we could see the creep of Test cricket as Civil War reenactment in our country? Like just some early 20s social outcasts coming together, young, dumb and full of cum, all genders, on a Saturday morning in suburban Canberra, slapping some metal against each other, pretending they're in the Civil War or medieval fighting, in honour of something grand and honourable yesteryear. I'm asking the question.
Yeah. Oh, I've drawn the willow card. That means I grow wings now. Huzzah!
Now, I suspect those people have more sex than we give them credit for.
Yeah, with dolls, but still.
Oh, whatever. But they're all together. Birds of a feather. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
With medieval kids
I'm already
slapping
upset
into each other.
Yeah, I mean, cricket has been hijacked by people that are like, hey, do you want, I get some mates together, hey, do you want to go to the cricket? Yeah, all good. Hey, good news, I've just bought 4 watermelons. Let's cut into them and wear them on our heads for 8 hours in the sun. What? When did that be? Like, cricket's been hijacked by these fucking insane people. And so today, yes, Pezza, is the first step for cricket being eventually a Civil War reenactment in a park in suburban Canberra.
Look,
okay,
man,
today was the first step.
I'm just going to say it. What you're meant to say on this show, and let me caveat with respect for everybody involved, particularly the West Indies. They don't get any fucking test cricket. Australia and other capitalist nations have been complicit, influential in driving this situation. You only see a couple of moments of West Indian cricketers where you go, jets, weapons in different scenarios, where they're playing all the time, actually makes you sadder. But let's have it right. We were witnessing Civil War reenactment on our shores, today, like with some of the shots and stuff we were seeing. Like, there was a shot at one point. I'm not going to name any batter, right? Just a windy wolf outside off stump, and you could see Steve Smith in the background, and his reaction being like, "Where am I?" Now, he had his own troubles later on in the day.
I thought it became quite hard to bat later on in the day, Pez. I thought it just was there any, we asked the question in the podcast earlier in the week, can Australia at least offer us some bulk numbers, something to wash over? Even people in Patreon chat are saying, Junior's talking about safety in the slips. Talking about, the West Indies slip stagger being wrong. I'm feeling safe. Is it at this level when you start getting some medieval metal, slapping against each other? Canberra, early morning, Civil War, reenacting? I don't know. Yeah. I struggled to feel things, I struggled to feel things today. Still watched it. Yeah, I mean, and that's before we get into the South Africa-New Zealand series, which is the next test series over there in a few days' time. I don't know actually when that starts. Must be pretty soon though. So that's going to be all pretty good. Yeah, part of me wants complete cataclysmo. Just the worst thing I've ever seen for it just to be finished, to be like, oh, no, okay, this is
Agreed.
We all know that I used to play in the Spina Bifida League. And so that's basically what I want to see now. Just absolute, complete uncoordination now against just the elite, academy-driven sports science, speed, and physics.
Yeah, because that's news in and of itself. Look how far the mighty have fallen. Where you're sort of a child playing a video game, where you can choose the Spina Bifida League and start doing some damage. I didn't complete my thought before, because what you meant to say, you meant to be magnanimous, and you meant to say it was a really enjoyable day's play with some excellent performances from the opposition that were unexpected. Those things are true. It is a game of cricket. I do kind of expect that in a test match in our country. It's been we do have to talk about Shamar Joseph and his moment and the wheels he bowled and the way he batted. That was fucking awesome. And what he did to Steve Smith. I mean, you're rocking in, first ball of test cricket, and the backstory's good, he goes. I don't know if you caught it. You're talking escaping abject poverty, having a steady income job 18 months ago, getting discovered by Curtly Ambrose in the nets, getting accelerated, shopping with Bharat Sundaresan a couple of days ago, which is actually the heights of life. Oh, genuinely. But
India Sundaresan.
And then, pardon me, his new name is India Sundaresan. And then first ball to the great Steve Smith, of your career, just nicking the coat off. Smith again showing us what the future may look like when when, the body starts getting twisted and contorted. But it's still Smith. That was a great moment. And also, I want to put this to you, he goes, positively. No country celebrates a wicket and runs off in all directions better than the West Indies. Like the pace out of the slips caught and towards him as he ran away, I don't think any country's matching that for the aesthetic, probably the speed, if we're being real. So
I think, Shamsi and Imran Tahir for South Africa have tried their best to try and do their best in that sort of celebration. But the West Indies do have something special there with a great lineage of sort of Dwayne Bravo, I think, started it first. The first time I saw it in Australia anyway. We're talking about this West Indies side, and I'm a bit annoyed that some of them can actually play, and I say that obviously arrogantly as a start. Yeah, like Kirk McKenzie scores 50 off 94, and when he raised his bat for 50, I was just thinking he will remember this moment, for the rest of it's his second test match, rest of his life stuff, I scored 50 against the great Australian cricket team. He's won a fucking competition and he was given some kit from Rebel Sport. The guy's a first-class cricketer, he's a good player, and the height of his career will be when he wins the CPL for whatever team he plays for. But in my head, it's isn't that nice? Isn't that nice that he's done something against my team that I support, which is just a wonderful cricket team of fine gentlemen, which is just superior in every single way, which sort of brings the magnanimous mentality, I think, is what you're talking about there.
Yeah, you meant to say that. I guess we saw some things at the start of the day which we liked, was a record set for the description of Cameron Green's hands as buckets. Possibly, it's
my kingdom.
It's my kingdom, of course, and it's a tough field. He took a great catch at gully to kick things off. I would like to have seen him release his legs. He needs to understand that if he releases his legs and falls on his hip, but his legs are too long. His legs can just hit the ground and he can balance. He's just sort of jumped up in the air a little bit to take what for anyone else would be an impossible screamer. And then he just lands on 2 feet. When your legs are 6 foot alone, I guess that's possible. What else did we see? Hoff 250, 250 poles, bring the average up, 25. Hoff 250 at 25, and the wicket to take his 250th was just hitting the top of off bail. Literally did. Just the top of not the bail, the stump. And it took, and as Greg Blue described, a good piece of the stump as well. And just around the wicket, misjudgment from the bat, 250, 25, top of off. Thank you. That's fine for me.
Yeah. Pezza, we were talking about, new trappings for the eye. Basically when we were saying how poor the showing was from the West Indies for the first 2 sessions, especially the second session where they lost 6 wickets, I think it was, for not many runs.
They did extend the session, though. Bravo to the opposition. They extended the session. They extended the T. They beat the extended T session or some shit.
Yeah. All the best to you, lads. And I was just thinking, should we have played Boland? Should we have played Lance Morris? Should we have played something that I've never seen before, just to make me feel something, just to bring some people from out the back at the Village Green there, the Adelaide Oval, into the stands? Probably not. It's too good out there. It's just way too good out there. Why the fuck would you waste time going to watch the cricket when you can be out the back? Anyway, and we were talking in the studio, Pezza, before, and just Hazelwood, he plays the tough series, and then he, as a reward for the tough away series, the tough home series as well, sometimes he gets a reward of the West Indies at home. And sometimes you need to reward these guys with a feed bag, and the West Indies are a feed bag. Josh Hazelwood has been trotting around the paddock doing the hard yards
training
for my country. And then he gets a feed bag at the end and they strap it to his face and he goes, nom, 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 nom. And that's the West Indies cricket team, the country of the West Indies.
Mate,
I couldn't find them on the map. I tried to Google where it was. I just typed in West Indies and nothing came up. I don't know what that's about.
Show tune to start the game as well. But mate, I totally agree. And to take the player's perspective, which is only one perspective, but for them a very important one, what are you playing for? What's the hard yards for if not the feed bag? If you're a horse and you're doing early morning, sort of an early morning trot, it's sort of track work, and you're racing tough country races. this is classical conditioning. You require a feedback as a reward to continue on your work. There hasn't, like, from a player's perspective, that's what explains to people, or should explain to people, why this quartet want to play in this series. The amount of tough, hard yards they have to do necessitates a feedback series. And on this occasion, Hazelwood got the feed. And good on him. He doesn't often get it, often goes to Kratz, a couple of late polls or something like that. But today it was Hoff. Hoff gets the chocolates, 250 polls, jumps on the mic at the end of the day, says I'm not a milestone man, perfect for the brand. Also says that Kirk McKenzie looked pretty good. He hit the ball hard, and then he had to add that it was through the offside. So obviously done his work. So look, it's hard through the offside. Let's have a look at it on the old pegs here. But we're working hard to find some love from the day's play. You know what I mean? What did Como finish with? 5? A 4? Yep. So all good.
Nah. Four for cider, 4 for bush horse. Pezza, I want to highlight what has been a highlight of the summer for Australian fans, and that is Smith Optics Australia. SmithOpticsAustralia.com you can go to, and they have really brought so much energy for the summer. They have made the summer fast. You can see Pezza wearing some Smith Optics right now. You can use the code FAST for 25% off at SmithOpticsAustralia.com. If you are new to the channel or to listening through the ears or watching on YouTube right now, 25% off your order at SmithOpticsAustralia.com using the code FAST. We've seen the Australian players, and many of them wearing it. We might have even seen Craig Brathwaite. We'll confirm with Smith Optics later if he was wearing them in the at the toss and for the pre-series photo shoot. So there could be some of the West Indies boys in these bad boys as well. But Smith Optics, who have got behind TGC this summer, really have been a highlight, I think, for Australian fans, as the reviews on SmithOpticsAustralia.com would suggest as well.
Indeed, and like just on that West Indies point, I know the team at Smith Optics worked hard to get the shades into the hands of the Pakistan players who, are fashionable and alpha in their own right. After a few days, sure enough, the Pakistani boys were getting around Smith Optics and Smith Optics in turn them. But if you want to actually get a real sense of where fashion is, take the fact that the West Indies have been donning these bad boys before the series started via their captain, via Craig Brathwaite, right? So once again, another endorsement from players who are keen to get around it, and as are our fans who have been leading the way, our audience leading the way in the purchase of this product. The amount of sales done using the code FAST is actually comedic. Can't release that information commercially in confidence, not that I know what that means, but the latest review was from Michael W., who wrote, "Me think it amazing, 5 stars. They fit really well, total protection for when I'm standing out on the boundary, brackets 12th man, for 8 hours every weekend." Now, if that's you, if you recognise yourself in that, consider Smith Optics and the way they get around your eyes, your periphery, the old facial, the old face there, the old WTC mace. And, improve your life.
Do you want to make some sweeping accusation statements, generally speaking, about just about Smith opening the batting?
Yeah.
Did you enjoy it? Is it the beginning of the end? Usman had his eyes painted on for a little bit, but he is steady as she goes. Cameron Green, as I said earlier, I just want him to stop being a fucking little pussyfoot little bitch and just fucking be the alpha king that he needs to be. I want him with a fucking neck tattoo walking out to bat
Shaved
in a pair
head.
of Doc Martens with a leather grip, okay? Shave his head. This guy
Nice
needs to be
little chaps.
fucking alpha. Stop fucking pussyfooting around outside the off stump being a nervous little pussycat. Meow, meow, etc., etc. He's got guys in his team saying like this, I don't want to put too much pressure on him. He could be the greatest player of all time. Steve Smith is saying he saves 40 runs in the gully every fucking innings, okay? We know what this guy's going to be. I'm sick of him being a nervous little fucking bitch outside the off stump, wafting his hands, looking nervous, trying to get off strike, planting his front foot down. Fuck that. Shave your head. Put your fucking front dog down the wicket and start boshing blokes, okay? That's what I want, Cameron, okay? That was my assessment of the 20 overs that the West Indies bowled. And Shamar Joseph's good.
No, well said, mate. No, really, really well said. Yeah, fantastic. He did play a couple of good shots through the offside, but I agree with your general sentiment otherwise. This is what I This is what I'm looking forward to with Green at 4. It's very much like a nowhere to hide scenario. Like when he bats at 6, it's the position in Australian cricket, particularly if he's the young guy, where it's the apprenticeship. You're at the bottom of the 6 bats in the team, and you also do some work with the ball. We're happy with your returns. Your returns happen to be in line roughly with what Andrew Flintoff achieved in his career, but good to see you getting started. In the team, but we're looking for better output. And so now it's like, mate, you're number 4. Like, there's necessarily pressure on you. I don't know why I'm talking. He's not listening to this or watching it, but so there's no way to hide for him now. Not only that, he's got to nearly be 25 now, Cameron Green. There's a lot of guys in international cricket who've established themselves at that age. So, mate, here you go. The gift is there for you. You bat 4 for Australia. You're 24, 25. Just tap it in. It's as simple as that. Tap it in to become the greatest player that ever existed, which is basically the par for what we're expecting from him.
If you want to support TGC and get behind us, you can go to patreon.com/greatcricketer. We can sign up and you can join the live chat happening throughout the day's play, of which there's been some wonderful commentary. And I started this show with a wave of emotions, and that was sort of that was the theme of the chat. If I could talk today, which I can't, which is a shame for me and generally people that have downloaded this. But Tim Allen said, "Will Moti win re-election?" Indeed.
I got to say, sorry, just on that, it was very, sorry, he goes, it was very concerning at one point when Damien Fleming out of my neck snapped when he just said, Modi's got to go. And I was like, now that is one way to shake up international cricket, and potentially get the fans back.
Nesson Dormer said international 3s type shit. Willow Biter said this is some seriously grim shit. Willow Biter also said most supporters I've seen at a Shield match. Mitch Marsh's forearm said if Solar Panel Pat doesn't take another fifer for my personal nonce reasons, he must be publicly beheaded. Greg Chappell's financial advisor said glad we started on a Wednesday. Windy's lads trying on the weekend, try out the weekend Adelaide circuit. What else is there? I'm not going to read that person's name, but they said Stark ruined my 5 wickets each to 2 bowlers fantasy. Delegate of Register of Trademarks said like pistol whipping a blind kid. Hey,
can I ask a question there, Higgins? Sorry, is there more gold to read?
There's a lot of screenshots and memes going on. Yeah. No, I'm not going to read anymore.
I think,
okay.
You
can read everything.
I want to put this to you. He goes that is it worth us getting ahead of of many expected responses to this show, which will be along the lines of what you need to understand about the quality of West Indies cricket is, or perhaps you guys need to stop being so greedy and entitled. This was a good day because of X, Y, Z. Do you want to double down on the fact that this was a Civil War reenactment today with medieval kids slapping against each other on Canberra Saturday morning? That we were seeing. Yeah. I'm not saying it was that today necessarily, but we were seeing the beginnings of it. I'm living in Fishwick and I can hear the echoes of it in the distance. You know
I've just bought some porn and fireworks.
You know what I mean? I live in Yass, and you can just catch it in the distance. Do you think that there is an argument that actually it was an enjoyable day's play of cricket and we should be supporting these things and be a little bit more positive about what everybody's achieving, or is it double down on red state, blue state, Civil War, Washington stuff?
I think by this stage in the video, there's the absolute whoppers in the comments that are going to try and tell us about how cricket works have long left the video, and they've just come in and they've just left their insane input into this communication stream of consciousness, generally speaking. So I say fuck them. They don't understand sarcasm anyway. I want this game to be over tomorrow, and I want Cam Green to take 9 for and score 180. That's what I want. Who gives a fuck? I hope the Taliwars win the CPL whenever they next play, and I hope and I hope that your team wins in the Big Bash tonight, if that's what you want to follow, or whenever that competition is being played. Once again, more thorough analysis of day 1 of the 4th Test match of the summer, the first of this series. I hope you've had a wonderful time, and we'll see you guys on the internet tomorrow. Cheers.